What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Morning Brew podcast. I'm your host, Kayla, and today I am joined by the multi-talented Nigel Powell, drummer for the band Unbelievable Truth. After a 25-year hiatus, they made their comeback to music last year, and as of recently, they are celebrating the re-release of their debut album, Almost Here. I'm super excited to have Nigel on the show and even more excited for you to listen to it. But before we get started, make sure that you're following the Morning Brew podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, and YouTube so that you don't miss any updates. All right, so thank you for joining. Welcome to the show. Can we start with your name and where you're from?
My name's Nigel Powell. I'm a drummer and other things for the band Unbelievable Truth, and I'm from England.
Awesome. I've got a couple questions to get to know you a little bit better right off the bat. Do you prefer coffee or tea?
I actually don't drink any hot drinks. In fact, I drink basically tap water, and that's all. I'm very, very boring indeed.
That's fine with me. What's your favorite place on Earth?
Ooh, I mean, this is going to sound really soppy, but anywhere that I'm cuddled up with my wife is the best place on the planet.
That's so sweet. What is something that people may not know about you?
I mean, probably just about everything. But I mean, at the moment, very few people know that apart from being an Unbelievable Truth and also another band called The Exact Opposite, I'm also now playing in a Tool tribute band, which turns out to be a very difficult job for a drummer.
That's so cool. Very different vibes from...
Very different, yeah.
Okay, what was your personal music inspiration?
Well, the first thing I remember listening to and kind of going, wow, there's something there, was a friend of my father's, a long time ago, gave me a live album by the band Genesis called Seconds Out. And I remember listening to it for the first time and thinking, I didn't understand any of this. I kind of liked the stuff that you like when you're very young, some pop music and, things that you hear on the radio. But this, I guess my friend's father was a big prog rock fan and was trying to educate me and gave me this. And I remember listening through the first time and going, I don't get it at all, but I really, really want to listen to it again because there was something about it. And there's still kind of parts of that experience, how it made me feel, is kind of still what I'm chasing. I want to try and inspire that in somebody that listens, not exactly the same thing, but that same kind of whoa, it's transportative type of feeling.
Sure. Were you already playing instruments when you listened to that?
I think so, but only in a very kind of casual way. I mean, I was probably 9 or 10 at this point. My brother is 3.5 years older than me. He played guitar and liked making music. So he basically made me drum for whenever he wanted to play guitar, but just on, pots and pans and with wooden spoons and stuff. So I think I was probably already doing that, and I might have been taking piano lessons, but it wasn't something that I was thinking about seriously. And then it's not a musical influence, but not long after that, I grew up in South London, and then our family moved to out to near Oxford, and I'd kind of grown up with all the same friends, and I went from being kind of quite social and way to a bit kind of introverted, and that was the point I remember. I don't know exactly why, but after that move, it happened when I was 13. After that, I began thinking about music very seriously and wanting to do little else, and that has continued since then.
That's really awesome. So tell me more about your band, Unbelievable Truth.
Well, we met at school. Well, two of us did. I met the singer, Andy, at school. We became best friends there because we were both similarly introverted and uncomfortable. There was a lot of long silent conversations between us. You know, you'd hang about and you go, "Are these guys friends?" Because they just sat there not saying anything. But that was how we liked it. And we were in bands together at school and kind of hanging out and doing that. And after school, Andy went off to university, and as part of his university course, he went to Russia. So I was doing other things, and I was playing in another band with this guy Jason, who was the bass player. And I thought, he's good. He's really good. Wow. And when Andy then wrote to me from Russia and said, "I've written some songs. I think we should get together and play them. What do you think?" I said, "Great. I know this bass player who will be perfect." And that was it, really. Andy came back with a bunch of songs. We got together, and I think quite quickly we realized we had a chemistry that was quite valuable, that I wasn't entirely used to. That the three of us would get together and stuff would just happen. There was never a kind of effort. You know, we've got to write a song today, which we'd just sit down with guitars and one would fall out, and then we'd go and have dinner. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so that was 90, kind of 91 that it first started. There's a lot of twists and turns after that, but that was where we came from originally.
Yeah, the first two albums, correct me if I'm wrong, came out in 98 and 2000. And then
That's
the
correct.
third album, Rich Inner Life, came out just last year in 2025. Walk
Yes.
me through this 25-year hiatus and the powerful comeback with new music.
Well, the hiatus was down to Andy, really. One of the reasons, I mean, just working with him musically, I love him as a person and always will. But working with him musically, one of the things I enjoyed and found interesting about him was that he was quite conflicted about the idea of being in a band. He was kind of a lot of imposter syndrome and being unsure of himself and just kind of going, "Is this the right thing?" Because he was very talented academically as well. So we did the first album on Virgin, and it was quite a success. And the second album was a bit more challenging. Some people had moved on in the record company, and they weren't interested in us anymore. So we released the second one on an indie. And Andy, it kind of fed into Andy's, paranoid sense that people were looking at him going, "You can't really do this, can you?" So he decided to leave the band after the second album came out in 2000. And that was that. I went on and did a whole bunch of other things, as did Jason. Andy kind of kept doing music for a little while. He released a solo album in 2006, which Jason and I both played on, and I produced as well. So because we all stayed friends, there was never any bad blood or anything. It was very boringly, there were no fights. Sorry, nothing to report there.
Oh no, we love that.
And then, so a few years back, I found myself without quite so much to do. I'd been extraordinarily busy in the music industry for kind of 15 years. And then after the pandemic, things were quiet. And initially, I suggested, "Do you want to get together and do a gig for the 25th anniversary of the first album?" And everybody went, "Yeah, that sounds good." And that was gratifying in a way, because we didn't know if anybody would even remember us, and we put it on sale and it sold out in 2 minutes. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But as soon as we got together to start rehearsing for this gig, it was the three of us in a room together, and new songs just started falling out of us again. And I think even by the time we got to do the gig, we kind of were more interested in the idea of writing new things, because it was exciting and we all felt inspired. So yeah, that the long gap was, just, I guess, getting ready for to come back with an even better album or something.
You kind of answered it a little bit with the songs just sort of happening on their own, and you guys all staying friends. Did the writing process or the dynamic change at all, in your opinion, within from 2000 to like 2025?
It was slightly different. I think I didn't realize how different it was until we got into writing what's going to be our next record. But Andy, back for the first two records, Andy had much more influence on the songwriting. He was coming up with ideas and bits that we would all kind of work on. But he was less confident, so there was more of an emphasis on stuff that I was kind of starting, if you see what I mean, which I think on the record you can hear it's kind of a little bit more piano based perhaps than the first two. And that's, I tend to write a little bit more on piano than I do on guitar. So there was a slight difference in balance rather than approach, I suppose. But it was quite subtle, and it's been really exciting since the album came out, and we've been writing new stuff, and Andy has got his groove back, and now he's just firing out songs left, right, and center. You can't stop him.
Yeah, so Jeff Thomas from 15 Minutes of Fame, he was just absolutely gushing about you guys on my podcast earlier this year, and he was so excited that you guys were coming back. So definitely,
he's a lovely guy.
Matters to people.
Yeah. I'm glad, and Jeff's a lovely guy, and it's really kind of heartening to get out there and find that there are people who it feels, I guess when you get into this point of life, it feels like you can fool yourself that things in your past were important when actually they weren't. But it's nice to kind of reappear and people to go, no, I'd really like that album. It's totally underrated. What are you doing? Come back.
Yeah.
Hey.
Does that help at all with Andy's imposter syndrome? Or
to some extent, I think, but I think it's more just a case of experience. And I mean, part of his process of kind of coming back to this and feeling better about it has been watching, he's got kids now, and watching them, they're really enthusiastic about music and singing and creative things. They're both great kids. And I think for him, watching them have that pure kind of innocent excitement about it has reminded him that you don't have to be all kind of tense and internalized with everything that's happening. Sometimes it's just amazing fun that you can make music and sing it, and he loves to sing, and it's reminding him of that. So I think that's probably the main thing that's relaxing him and making him go, yeah, I can do this.
oh, that's sweet. That makes me really happy. Today, the debut album, Almost Here, is reissued on vinyl, which is super exciting. What brought about the decision to reissue this album?
As soon as we started playing again, there were fans saying, I'd really like the album on vinyl. It came out on vinyl back in 1998, but it's long since sold out, and it's, quite expensive if you want it on eBay. So from the beginning, we had people saying, can you reissue this? And we thought it was a good idea. In fact, we tried to do it for the 25th anniversary gig, but not wanting to bore you with industry stuff. But we were signed to a company called Virgin Records, and then they got absorbed by Universal Music. And we tried to find anybody in this vast corporate network of Universal Music who would have any interest in either re-releasing the album or allowing us to. And just, I mean, for years, literally years, we started trying to get it re-released in 2023. Just nobody was even slightly interested. You'd find somebody who had some kind of authority to do it, and they would go, no, we can't be bothered, basically. Oh. And I mean, it's a real serious level of can't be bothered, because we were asking them for a license where they just kind of give you permission for a certain amount of time to do it yourself and give them some money when you do it. So it's absolutely no effort for them. All they need to do is instruct the lawyers who already work for them and they've already paid to do a sheet agreement saying you can do this for this amount of time. But they couldn't even be bothered to do that.
That's crazy.
I know. And then once Rich in a Life came out, and there was a little bit of, there were some reviews of that and some press, and somebody noticed that actually we were doing something and it might be worth doing again. So they actually came to us, with us, having been chasing them for 3 years. They came to us and said, hey, we were thinking about re-releasing the album. We're like, oh, what a great idea.
Wow, if only someone had thought about that. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. So, and we said to them, look, if you're going to do it, we'd really like to, you can put it out the original version, but we'd like to do a deluxe double version as well, because we
sorry, can you hear my cat like running around the apartment?
excellent. My cat's just over here as well, was just rolling about on one of my keyboards, but I ignored her, so there.
Cute. My cat has the zoomies right now. She's sprinting back and forth.
Amazing. Well, I hope it doesn't destroy your podcasting setup, but we asked if they would do a 2-disc version, because we were always quite prolific, and there were lots of B-sides from that time that we were really proud of. And there was also one track which ended up being Andy's favorite, called From This Height, which ended up only on the Japanese release of the album. So you couldn't even get it on streaming or anything over here. So we wanted that to be available. So, and they said, yeah, sounds like a good idea. And here it is, out today after a couple of weeks delay from when they told us it would be. Hooray.
That's super cool. I'm sure if I asked Jeff, I could get a fan perspective about this question, but I'd love to get your perspective as the artist. What do you think it is about this album that holds such a special place in people's hearts?
I don't think it's particularly mysterious, because it's the same as any music. It's just about how it makes somebody feel. And I think we do have it's not something that we try to do, but our natural way of writing does seem to come out in a particular way that it kind of sounds like a sad song, but when you listen to it, it's both sad and uplifting at the same time. Somebody from one of our Oxford local music papers described it as euphoric melancholy, which I thought was a good phrase. And I mean, I get that. I always feel like music like that is the kind of thing which, when you get it and it's your, and it speaks to you, it can make people feel less lonely in their internal world, if you see what I mean. It's something that can get inside you and go, it's okay, feelings are okay, and what you're feeling is okay, and try not to worry. It's kind of like a musical hug.
Oh, that's so nice. I love music like that. So 28 years later, what are you most proud of with this record?
I mean, I'm going to end up answering this the same as I answered the last one, but how it made people feel is, that's the main achievement of it. I liked the process of making it. I ended up producing the record, which wasn't initially my intention. We didn't kind of march in going, Nigel must produce it. We were trying to find a producer for ages and couldn't find anybody who seemed to have the right vibe. And then our guy at the record company, after yet another failed interview with somebody, said, Nigel, why don't you produce it? I really like how the demos sound. And I went, okay. Yeah. So I'm proud that, as a first piece of proper studio work, it seemed to come out quite well. But really, that kind of technical stuff, you can have a kind of a masculine pride in, let's say. It's like, look at this big thing that I have lifted. But I prefer the kind of pride where it's like, this thing that I have done has made somebody feel something. When people come up and say, I was having a really dark time, and when this album came out, it really helped me, that's worth a billion times more than somebody going, I thought the snare drum sound you got was incredible.
That's super cool. That makes a lot of sense. I have a lot of songs that I'm like, yeah, this one saved my life for sure. Just keep those in a little special place. So
Yeah.
that's really nice that people are able to tell you about that themselves, and that makes me happy. Is there currently anything new on the horizon for you guys?
Well, yes, as I've hinted, we're actually I mean we've got some live dates and things coming up anyway as bands do, but our main focus this year has been writing, and we have written a lot, and we're really excited by how it's sounding. So I think the idea is to try and get it recorded over the summer, and then have something out, maybe a song or two out before the end of the year, but looking for the album to come out sometime next year. But I mean, at the moment, it's a lot more than one album's worth of material that we've got. So,
So this is where you have to narrow it down to.
well, maybe. I mean, there's part of, I think if we had like a huge record company who was going to go Shazam and throw something out to the world with huge fanfare, then we might kind of pare it down. But at the moment, there's nothing that we don't like. And I think we're more of the idea that we just want to get the whole breadth of it out, because there's some stuff which sounds kind of quite typically, hey, I'd recognize that as Unbelievable Truth. And then there's some stuff which is, kind of to either side. It's a little bit weirder, or it's a little bit kind of sounds a little bit more like a gospel choir or something like that. So I think, at the moment, the idea is let's just put it all out. We're going to be dead soon, whatever. So,
Might as well.
yeah, exactly.
I think that would be really cool, honestly, if you do like a 4-disc extravaganza.
I don't think we'll put it out all at once like that, because even the bands I really love, I've never come across a double album that I haven't secretly thought to myself, guys, this probably could have been a single album, couldn't it? So I think we'll probably do it like an album, and then a few months later another album, and then a few months later another album. So
Big year then.
possibly, but we'll
Possibly.
see what happens. The best, everybody's plans sound amazing until they meet reality, and then everything explodes. So
Ain't that just the way? So, Nigel, my last question for you. Oh, hi, Kitty.
this is
What is
Princess
this little
Peach.
thing? Princess
Princess
Peach.
Peach. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Hi. You can't see her right now, but my cat Cinnamon is just right over there. Hi, Princess Peach. Aw.
She was attacking my keyboards again, so I've saved them from
Oh, she's helping.
a hairy mauling. Yeah.
Oh, well, she can answer this question too. My last question comes from somebody else, because I do a segment called Artists Ask Artists. So it's like a
Okay.
very long daisy chain of questions. So my
Okay.
last guest is Irish singer Janet Devlin, and she would like to know, she says, you play multiple instruments. If you could only play one for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
I'm afraid that's an easy one, because it's drums. I started with drums really kind of seriously, and it's it's the thing I'm best at. I mean, I have kind of my own amount of imposter syndrome to varying degrees of things, but with drums, I've got to the point now where I know what I don't know. I'm kind of I think every time you learn something, when you get to kind of a point of being quite good at something, you know that there's a whole vast amount of stuff that you don't know. But I'm confident enough that I can sit down with a band, make them sound better than they are sounding at the moment by drumming the right way for them. So yes, it would be drumming. Thank you, Janet Devlin, for an excellent question.
See, this is interesting because she was like, oh, I would put money on that he's gonna say piano, but tell me if he says something different. And I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, I love piano. I spend a long time, sitting playing endlessly. I play lots and lots of Ben Folds and Ben Folds 5 songs, and I play lots and lots of Genesis on the piano, and I enjoy it. But in terms, my desert island thing has to be drumming. I've played as a drummer. I've probably played 2,500 gigs in my life, and
That's crazy.
I'm comfortable with it.
I'm learning drums in my spare time.
How are you doing?
All right. Not, trying to learn the thing that I'm getting stuck on right now. I don't know what it's called. When you're hitting the what is it, the hi-hat, but also it's doing this at the same time. My foot and my hand, they don't do that. They, they don't understand doing that at the same time.
I mean, it is one of those things that practice makes perfect. My wife seems to find it fascinating watching me when all of my limbs are doing different things at the same time, and she's like, "How do you do that? How do you even walk after doing that? Doesn't it get confusing?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every other limb separation works good enough, but that one, I have like a mini stroke. I'm like, I can't do that.
There are certain things. I know when I'm trying to play some of these Tool songs, I can kind of visualize a CPU meter in my head that's slowly getting over into the red, and like if it goes on too long, the whole thing just crashes. Blue screen of death. But
Yeah, I'm confident that there's like smoke coming out of my ears.
I mean, I feel like that quite a lot when I'm drumming anyway, but I actually kind of enjoy that challenge when it's getting that way. And also I enjoy the other challenge of something being technically very simple, but it has to be played in a very specific, nuanced way in order for it to feel right. There's a kind of whole layer of different challenges, musical challenges as a drummer. People just think we sit at the back and batter things, but no, we are musicians too.
There's science to it. And we hit things.
Yeah, I mean, that is part of it, and it's enjoyable.
It's therapeutic. That's what I use mine for. I get frustrated
Absolutely.
when I go hit something that's not going to break.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's no wonder that Dave Grohl is such a calm man in normal life, because when you look at how hard he hits the drums, he's getting everything out when he's doing that. It's fine.
That makes a lot of sense. So before I forget, you can now ask anything for my next guest, but I don't know who it is yet, so there's no.
You don't know who it is yet? Oh no! I mean, it sounded like Janet Devlin had a kind of heads up as to a good question to ask me. All right, let me think. Well, I mean, it's probably something that comes up a lot, but as a discussion point, I, Nigel Powell from Unbelievable Truth, multi-instrumentalist, would like to ask your next guest what their opinion is on AI's role in actually creating music, and how they feel how that will look in 5 years' time.
Okay, interesting. I have my opinions, but we will see what they say.
Yeah, I mean, that could take up like most of your podcast. I think it's not a small question.
I know, right?
Like, what's your favorite color?
No, okay. So I also like to leave at the end a little space for shameless self-promo. So Nigel, anything that you want to promote or where people can find you, now is the time for that.
Well, we're at unbelievabletruth.co.uk. I mean, you've mentioned everything, really. We've got the vinyl re-release of our debut album, Almost Here, which is out now. And we've got our album, Rich Inner Life, which was released last year, which we're very proud of. You can look us up on streaming sites. And if you get the chance to, if you like it, then buy something physical from us and I will send it out with my own hands. And that is the best way to support the band.
Amazing. Well, Nigel, thank you so much for joining and thanks for your time.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure, Kayla, and thank you for bringing us on your show.
Of course, I'm so excited. We'll have to do this again next year when there's potentially more stuff to talk about.
3 albums, yeah, maybe.
3 episodes.
Okay, but yes, I'll be there. I'll be very happy to do it.
Awesome. All right, have a great rest of your day, Nigel.
And you, thank you, Kayla.
That's all for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I encourage you guys to check out Unbelievable Truth and their music. I'm going to link the re-release of Almost Here in the description below, as well as all of their socials so that you could go check them out. They are super cool. Thank you, Nigel, so much for your time. Guys, like always, if you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with a friend and make sure that you're following the Morning Brew podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, and YouTube so that you don't miss any uploads. Be sure to tune in next time because I have Attaboy back in the hot seat. I've got Freddie, Dashiell, and Eden, and we are here to break down their new album, Silt.